Let's talk about that clown, Pastor Charles Dowell. That clown, Pastor Charles Dowell. 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 16. All scripture is given by inspiration of God and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness, that the man of God may be perfect, thoroughly furnished unto all good works. I came across a video last night where Pastor Dowell said some years ago that the New Testament ain't in the Bible. Basically calling the New Testament a lie. Basically calling Jesus Christ a lie. Now, it's not like that I didn't need any more ammo against Pastor Charles Dowell. I didn't need any more ammo against him. But that man is some type of foolish. He had a nerve to call himself a Hebrew Israelite. That's what he calls himself. I'm a Hebrew Israelite. Not spiritual, not inwardly, but outwardly. He claimed he's from one of those tribes. Him and Nathan and all them. But I just can't figure out how he's supposed to be a Hebrew Israelite just like over in the Old Testament and all that. But he have in his congregation what other Hebrew Israelites call Esau's, meaning white people. Now, he can't be a Hebrew Israelite like in the old if he believe and do have mixed races in his congregation. That don't go together. Can't be. Majority of the Hebrew Israelites in this country extreme don't believe in any other race going to heaven. They don't believe in any other race being of God. Nobody else is drafted in. That stuff being drafted in the Gentiles and all that came out of the New Testament. I told y'all before I took my other channel down, I was calling out Pastor Dowell. It don't take a lot of time to figure out what kind of person a person is. Pastor Dowell claimed to have so much biblical knowledge. He claimed to be so smart. I literally heard him say he understands Hebrew, Greek, Latin. He said it. He claimed he understands all those languages, but yet I have never heard him actually reading a Hebrew book, a Latin book, any other language. Never. And I've been watching him for quite some time now. Just because he have had somebody come to him and explain a word or two in Greek or whatever, or maybe a word or two in Hebrew, he take that as he knows the languages. But yet, he won't read a Hebrew Bible. He won't read a Hebrew language or a Greek language. He won't read a book written in other language. Let put him to the test and see just how much does he really know. That's what he claimed. He called Coromant a liar and don't know Greek. I thought Coromant really knew Greek better than I thought he do, but he know a little bit more. Then he know more. He's not Coromant don't have a master in Greek. But he know a little bit. Pastor Dowell don't know none. But he claimed to be so knowledgeable. He's on record saying stuff like that. That man is very powerful. He doesn't mind calling the Bible a lie. Somebody came out of my videos not too long ago and said, Pastor Dowell don't believe in the New Testament. I know that's what he say. I know. Now this video that I just seen of him calling the New Testament a lie, this video was put out like 7 years ago. But I done heard him in the last year calling the New Testament the New Covenant a lie, but yet he stand up in his church every Saturday and preach the New Testament. I just heard him, I think, 2 weekends ago? He put the scriptures up on the big screen. So how foolish is that? For him not to believe in the New Testament, but he preached the New Testament. And he had other races in his congregation. He believed in interracial marriage. He believed in that. He can't, so I don't understand. Where do he really stand? What are his beliefs? But when you have a drunk for a leader, an ex-military man, I love all the military people. I don't have nothing. I love my father-in-law retired from the Army. But everybody knows military people are something special. Ain't no way you can pastor a church and be a ex-military person, especially if you done many years. If you served in the military for over 10 years, I interact with military. I can tell just the good when I'm dealing with somebody who had done time in the military. They very stern. It's like they don't have no patience. They don't really play around too much. They really stern. They mind have been formed to very strict stuff. You know what I'm saying? Very, when you take a ex-military and put them over a congregation of people, they can't help but to administrate how they was trained. And what does the Bible say about bishops? This guy sits on YouTube and get drunk every Friday night, then jump up in the church and try to preach, and then very proudly call the Bible a lie. Let me take my nose off. He very proudly called the Bible a lie, and then turn around and preach from the Bible. How wicked is that? All scriptures is given by inspiration of God and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness, that the man of God may be perfect, thoroughly furnished unto all good works. Straight rate members, y'all are following some type of lunatic. That man is a straight up lunatic. I listened to Pastor Dowell for years driving up and down the highway. I always listened in to see what he was talking about. His mind is too warped to politics, right-wing politics. That man is no way fit to be. He ain't a preacher in God, church. I'm going to tell y'all that right now. I don't know. If he ain't a preacher in God, church, he got to be a pastor in the devil's church. Because him himself is twisted. His doctrines are all twisted. He sit up there and surround himself by a bunch of them jack-legged elders that parade their stuff, that feed into his ego. That's what he like. Bunch of soft jack-legged men can't operate in their own on their own. Go ahead, Pastor. Go ahead, Shep. Shep just sit there feeding y'all a bunch of lies, contradicting himself at every turn. Ain't no new covenant. Ain't no Jesus. Then he turn around and preach Jesus. Turn around and preach the new covenant. And had the nerve to talk about forgiveness and all that. Where that stuff came from? That came from grace. Jesus Christ. He started preaching that. Love. How you know about love? Man, you don't sit up there and I ain't gonna say you know, but you might know something about love, but how do you know the right way to lead people where you divorce your first wife, went and marry you another woman, now you living in adultery, and you got 2 or 3 other girlfriends that you call your wife, but according to the Bible and according to the law of the land, they're not your wife. You only have one wife. But that one wife that you are legally married to in the state of Tennessee or whatever y'all marriage license is from, that woman is not your wife according to the scriptures. You want to be recognized. You want there to be legal, legit. In your mind, you think that, well, in the Old Testament, they had many wives, David and all them had. That was for them at that time, whatever they was under. But Solomon, David is not our pathway or ticket to heaven. Jesus Christ is. Jesus Christ identified what a marriage is. Jesus Christ addressed the marriage and divorce doctrine in Matthew. Then Apostle Paul came along and echoed the same marriage. So how is it not a sin in what you doing? You living in adultery, no matter how you try to say it. You divorce your first wife, now you got a second wife, unless your first wife is deceased, but from my understanding, she's not. I know, it seemed good to the flesh. It seemed like, all men sometimes probably have thought their way, ooh, that go back, that just some that is of the flesh. A lot of preachers have a wife, and most girls always have been doing it. But that don't make it right according to the Bible. That's a form of greed. That's a form of covetous that God strictly forbids. Now, if you feel like you can have multiple wives, what's to stop you from deciding you want some of them elders' wives? One of your elders. What's to stop you if you decide you want their wife? What would stop you if you decide you want their daughter to add to your list of women? Some preachers call them whores. Harlots. Whores. I wish Gina would call my wife a hoe. You ain't got no spirit. That man ain't got no... Gina ain't got no spirit. And Pastor Dowell sure don't have the spirit of the Holy Ghost. He is proving it over and over and over again. You want to beat up Jenny just because he preached the Bible concerning marriage. Something you don't want to hear, so you decide you're going to go out and pick a fight. Don't want to debate, you want to straight up fight. And them elders sit up there, them so sorry elders, clowns too, they sit up there and just parade their stuff. Go ahead, Shep. Go ahead, Shep. Go ahead, Shep. Shep sit up there and get drunk every Friday night. Shep a working man. I ain't gonna lie about that. But Shep have a lot of good ideas too. But when you try to defy the government and go against the government, you're not a man of God. The man do not like the government. He despised the laws of the land. The man got all type of license that will allow him to drive and work and operate in the state of Tennessee or the United States government under the United States law. But yet he despised the laws of the land. If you despise the laws of the land and you operate according to what the Bible says, why do you have all those licenses that will allow you to go out and work? Deeds. You have land deeds. You got everything on paper that the laws of the land said you got to have. But yet you despise the law. I obey God. I don't obey. You're a lie. You got a driver's license. You got insurance. You got all this stuff. You got contractor's license. All this stuff come from God. Well, as long as it don't interfere with what God say. No, you can't have it both ways. It don't work that way. On one hand, I don't have to obey the laws of the land. But on the other hand, I do. Because I want to. It's not interfering. It don't work that way. That's the way he want to have it. He want everything. A lot of people is like that. Even in church, they want to have everything their way. They don't want to live according to the scriptures and admit that where they're wrong at. You wrong, you wrong. Clown.